Okay, so we are just going to do a collective Sunday reading here. I want to try to start doing these on Sundays, but I don't know for sure if I can add that to my to-do list. So hopefully I'll be able to start doing these. I think they'll be fun. And then tomorrow, hopefully either tomorrow or Tuesday actually, from the time I'm filming this, I hope that I will be able to get that video out of the 5-day giveaway that's coming on the 20th so that I can explain everything and entry and all that good stuff. And then I'll announce what decks won and which ones I'm giving away as well. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. So this is going to be a collective messages from Spirit. Just kind of for something, you know, a Sunday reading just to listen to. So we're going to use some oracles first. So I don't know what's going to come out, and this is going to kind of help me kind of see what I need to kind of focus in on. These are the fairy oracles. And then we're also going to use the fountain tarot. And then I'll also pull some clarifiers with a different deck for the fountain tarot. I don't know why, but they asked me to kind of bring forward another deck for clarifiers, so that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to use the one that another deck I'm going to give away, so y'all can kind of see how that one looks. Okay, so let's do this. So what message do you have for the viewer? What overall message do you have for the viewer? Healing. Great, so this gave me a healing message. How funny, because when I first got started on this, I said, should I do like this is a healing message or just a message from Spirit or what? And so that's just, for me, that's kind of funny. About bringing balance, about bringing harmony, to kind of help emotionally fulfill you. That's what this reading is supposed to be about, okay? So it says, now is the time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others. Yes, even you. For some of you, this has to do with, hold on just a second. Okay. For some of you, this has to do with you recognizing how to receive love from someone and appreciation for yourself. And then for others of you, this has to do with kind of being in a place to where you are accepting kind of the way that things are and how you kind of necessarily feel about the way that things are with you in your life, and maybe not looking at that so much as more of a lack space, but a mindset that's more of what you do kind of have. So you're looking at gratitude here. I'm also getting some kind of a little bit of personal kind of stories out of that as well. So we'll see what comes out. I don't want to go too far into that without clarifying some stories more. Life energy. Birthing kind of life back into your being here is part of that. Shine from within. Yeah. This has to do with you being in a place to where you are finding balance within yourself, finding joy again, finding happiness again, kind of getting out of a space of feeling like, I think it may be something to do with the holidays as well. You know, right here at the end of the year, we kind of all get to a place to where we just feel like we have a short amount of time left. It's just like the time lapse just kind of caves in on us in a way, you know, and it creates this like thing inside of us where we feel like we just have to get so much done and meet our goals, what expectations we've put on us for the year, you know, being in a place. Apparently this is going to be an end of the year reading, I guess. So being in a place to where we can really pull out that inner kind of life within us so that we can decide what our rebirth is going to look like for the next oncoming year. And I think it creates like a buildup internally about burdens and kind of carrying the load of kind of meeting those expectations right here. And it can create a little bit of a negative, ambiance around you. I don't know why they're giving me that word. How funny. So it can create more of a negative ambiance around you, and kind of looking at that in a way to where it's not such a burden, but an experience in itself this time. sometimes I think this time of year gets kind of pushed to the side, besides for the last the last week of it, where it all kind of comes together. But the whole end of the year, there's so many different things. I mean, we have Halloween, and all the holidays are right there, and I think that sometimes we get so much lost into that, we realize that it's actually the end of a full year of our lives, and the amount of growth that we experienced in that year, and putting that into perspective, and what you've learned throughout the year and what you've experienced throughout the year, and really ending the year on a gratitude, instead of I didn't get everything done I needed to get done. I'm not where I wanted to be, and just kind of just take a breather and take a step back and show yourself a little compassion there, and tell yourself that, look at what you've achieved. Look at what you've been through. Look at what you've had to experience. I mean, I feel like it's just different for everybody. Look at how far you've come. Look at what you've learned about yourself. All of these kind of things, it's about addressing the light in the room, even if it's the dimmest light that's there, and giving that love, giving that love, and the ability to kind of grow into something that really pushes out that negative ambiance. That's why they gave me that word. Like a lighting, it really pushes out. How you can make a light brighter, like an ambient light, you can make it brighter and brighter. I hope I'm saying that right, but that's what they gave me. So how crazy. It's it gets to the point to where it fills the whole room. It just takes that little bit, but you just have to focus on it. You just have to give it some attention. You just have to love that part of it. Even if it's something small that you learned through the whole year, it's still something that's there that puts you in a place to where you weren't before. And there's a level of growth in that. There's always going to be a lesson there. I can tell you that for sure. No matter what it was, good, bad, whatever. There's always some sort of lesson that you've learned that you can kind of see that light, Think of your mind. Okay, this is kind of cool. So think of your mind. If you close your eyes, think of your mind in your brain, and the way your brain looks if you were up there walking around in there. And if it was all filled with light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, right? And every year you got to stand up and turn on lights of what you've learned, a lesson that you learned, something that you learned. And gradually but surely you're kind of building that capacity of wisdom in your mind space. Think of it like this. And it will make you see this whole year as something that is you feel gratitude for, which leads to all that more positive energy. It's sad how we can turn things around with our words. It's like I always used to say positivity, and then we became overly positive, or there became, toxic positive came out, and it's now it's hard to say positive, because then you have to put an excuse. Well, I don't mean overly positive. You know what I mean? We created that issue for ourselves. We can't just say positive or negative anymore and not have some kind of feeling of backtrack on that. I think this is something that we need to acknowledge. This, I don't know why I'm telling y'all this. It has something to do with what you've learned, though. Definitely has something to do with what you've learned. And how you kind of carry that more of a toxic nature to things. We can actually even turn positivity into a toxic thing. As humans. My gosh. If you really think about it like that, just like they're asking you to think about your year and think about it in that kind of way, of just, even if it's just that one light bulb, it's still more light. And some of those aren't good lessons. And I think part of the reason I went into that whole scenario is because some of those aren't necessarily good lessons when it comes to seeing that positive side of things. Some of those lessons were really hard. You went through some really crappy stuff, or you had all kinds of stuff could happen to you where it's causing some kind of pain or some kind of significant trauma or damage, or a year's a long time to have some experiences, and kind of looking at that in a way of, even if it's that small thing that I learned where I know this now about myself. Now I know how I react to trauma. Now I know where that part of me comes from. Even if it's something to this nature, it's still so valuable and so important, and in a place from where you can pull gratitude. Okay, guys, I know I just went completely out there with all that stuff, so I hope that you kept up with me and that made sense. Sometimes I feel like I get kind of carried away with the more social kind of misconceptions that I feel sometimes in the way things kind of are right now, because we're kind of putting the blueprints out there for ourselves as humans. I've been feeling it a lot lately, and I'm trying to not dive too far into that, because I don't think it's necessary in my readings, but it gets brought up, keeps getting brought up. They keep telling me about it. So it may have something to do with me being a millennium. It's like, my Pluto is in Scorpio, so we're supposed to be the ones that are transforming things, and kind of the way that I saw it on TikTok is calling out the BS with people. That's part of our job. We're not here to fix it or here to figure it. We're here to just kind of call you out on it. I thought that was kind of interesting, and maybe that's why I've always get kind of pulled out of it into a higher vision in my readings when I do collective readings like this. But I hope that y'all stayed with me, and I hope that made sense, and I don't sound too bizarre. Okay, so life energy here. The happy fairy of sunshine brings lots of life-giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadows that needs to be healed. So it's so funny that we've been talking so much about this light bulb scenario. And it talks about here, it's just to shine your light, and then it will reveal anything that's in the shadows. It's almost like you need to remember through this period, this healing period here of this last year, that as you kind of, or this time period that you're hearing this reading. So this is timeless reading. Wherever you are, but this past energy is something that, with that little bit of gratitude and that spark and that light coming on, it shows you a part of yourself that is a shadow part of yourself that you didn't recognize in you before, which is self-awareness of that being there. Being able to accept what that is part of what you're learning here, even if it's that tiniest bit. There's little parts. I think that we get this, again, here I go, with this misconception thing about, I'm just the messenger, I hope y'all know that, about this kind of being something that's a big deal with when we're talking about shadows, and we go into talking about shadows as being, it has to be this huge part of us that is a big traumatic experience that we've experienced, or something that we have a trail, from. And sometimes it just can be something small. Sometimes it can be, a shadow can be something that's tiny that would go unnoticed if you didn't learn some small lesson that you needed to learn, or even if it was a big lesson and there was a little piece of you that could have set fire to something one day, that you needed to have self-awareness that it was there. It doesn't always have to be this huge thing. We all have parts of us that need healing in some way, shape, or form. I think that's something that also be acknowledged. There's a level of duality, if you can tell, in that, where things come into balance with themselves. as far as the light and shadow goes. As far as the gratitude, and the smaller the shadow doesn't necessarily mean the awareness of it isn't less significant. Yeah. Okay. Shine from within. Looks are only skin deep. True beauty shines from within. And it's time for you to shine. This is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. This is about you being true to yourself and not having that impression of how others are perceiving you to be an influence in how you perceive yourself, and having that acceptance for who you are and why you are who you are and how you are who you are. No one else has experienced the journey like you. No one. Only you have experienced your journey the way that you've experienced. There could be other people that live through the same experience as you have, but they don't have the same mind you do, so they are not experiencing that in the same way you would. It's never the same with two people in that kind of way, because we all live through the lens of our own pain, through our own eyes, and what we have experienced is something that is a projection onto everything in our lives and how we react to those situations and things. I think having a level of acceptance in that is beauty in itself, and being able to have that part of you that is that special and that true, and that was what makes you unique, all of us. That's why it's so important for us to connect together as a unit, so that we can bring all these different thoughts and ideas together and find that balance there. But it's so hard for us to be able to do that because, it's that Luciferic impulse that we have inside of us that pulls us away from that. There I go again. Off into the thing again. I keep having to pull myself out of that. So intense. Okay. Get that away from me for a second. Okay, shine from within. So having self-acceptance here, being able to recognize the light with the light being there is being part of recognizing the darkness and having that balance and healing these things and seeing the beauty and balance within that and feeling emotionally fulfilled with healing these things is something that's important. Okay, I gotta pull myself out of that for a minute. It's gonna take me a second. All right, I think I'm ready. I gotta get a drink of coffee. Kind of pull myself away for a second. The Fountain Tarot. This is an awesome deck. Love this deck. It doesn't like me very much, apparently. Okay, so Tarot, what do you have to say about this? What else? There's that brand new beginning. Page of Pentacles, brand new start. Seeing things as a brand new start. Now they're going to go into now how you can approach this brand new start and what you can achieve in this brand new start moving forward in your life. The High Priestess. That's a great place to start. Pisces energy. This is about Capricorn for me too, as well as here, because I feel like it's the most reliable, structured kind of energy in the zodiac for me. That's just the way I see that. It might have something to do with, I think all three of my sons have Capricorn. Could be to do with their generational influence. But it's about I use. And this is kind of what I'm talking about with what we just talked about here about this past year, and using that and grounding that into a new beginning for yourself moving forward. You know, it's about your career and your personal status and starting in with that as something that's a solid, grounded thing. So this is why this is also important, is because they want you to start at that place of balance and being able to take this wisdom here that you've gained with the High Priestess, this inner knowing, this guidance that you've obtained throughout your journey here, your healing journey, and using that moving forward in this new year. The Five of Wands, seeing past the differences. Seeing past the conflict with others is something that's here, guys. And stop kind of fighting with yourself about certain things that you feel are right and wrong internally is something that's here. Focusing on what's most important to you in your life right now, in your own actual stability, and fighting for that stability is something that's here. Maintaining a direction that you know is for your highest good and that no one else kind of would recognize as that, but you know internally that that is where you are and that's the way you feel, and fighting for that. But realizing that there's no need to kind of fight for what it is that you feel like you need to do. If it's something that you feel truly that you need to do through this journey that you've experienced, and like I said about seeing others and how we're all unique in that way, then again, that's your journey and your truth that you're carrying, and seeing the stability in that is something that's important moving forward for some of you, because there could be things that you feel the need to do or that you want to accomplish that could actually be bringing some sort of conflict along with that into your life. And I know that's not something that you want to hear. But it has to do with differences, and I want to remind you that it is just a wand. It's not a sword, so it's not something that you're not going to be able to get over or see yourself through. But it will put you into this hermit energy, this reflective kind of space. This is Virgo energy here, to where you can kind of reflect again on yourself. And here he is with his flashlight, shining that light on all those shadows, and reflecting back to what it is that you've experienced in the past is something that's here. And a period of isolation, for the Nine of Cups, to try to figure out what it is that is your Nine of Cups. What is it that brings you happiness? What is it that wants you that brings you fulfillment? And this is for yourself. This is an independent card about having this blissfulness of this wish of what you want for yourself and the happiness that you see yourself in. And it's going to take you some time. You're going to be in some isolation kind of period to kind of really contemplating this. Can I have one more? I feel like I need one more. The Fool in reverse. Trying to decide if you want to take a leap in this new direction in the best way that's possible for yourself, and doing it for yourself and not just doing it for other people around you, even making other people like look at you in a certain way, or just not caring about how it's going to, not care about how it's going to affect others, but how it is that it's just your wish and what you want, and that it may not be fully accepted by others. So guys, this could look in so many different ways for y'all. This could look in a way of a career that you want to do, a move that you want to make, someone that you want to be in a relationship with, how you want to change become a minimalist or something. I don't mean, whatever it is, it's like this big significant change where you feel that there is some sort of fight, that an external and internal, because of the external, like fight that's going on internally with you. Oh, that was a mouthful. And of being afraid of being judged is something that's here. And what they're saying here with this Hermit energy is go back to that truth that you're aware of, which is the shine from within. Sorry guys, I got interrupted and it really threw me off. We have the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So this is you kind of not being so defensive when it comes to others, I think is really going to be important for you for this next coming year. Kind of, you know, engaging and stepping into that powerful part of yourself and bringing that out for the world, you know, kind of to see that this is who you are and what it is that you want in your life. There is a part of this next year here. There's part of this next part of this journey in your life where you may be a little bit afraid of. There's going to be healing, obviously, every year there will be. There's going to be some healing that takes place when it comes to that, and being able to be confident around others and not taking their opinion so much to that internal place, you know, where it's really backfired or affecting you in the worst way, and choosing happiness here moving forward, and not having others kind of reflect on that so much is something that is going to be something you have to heal from. The other thing is finding your own confidence, finding your own power for freedom. And even if that means getting past some self-limiting beliefs that you have about yourself or about that you have in the world in general, you know, it's just overcoming those obstacles and being afraid of taking leaps towards those happy things that you want in your life is something that's here that's going to be part of a lesson, right? Taking risk and feeling like you can take risk here is a big part of that. I'm going to do something kind of interesting here, guys. I'm going to use these as overall energies for each one of these, because I feel like these are different kind of aspects that I'm looking at. This is the way that I'm kind of seeing this reading kind of play out. Okay. Whew. I'm exhausted. I feel like I've been talking nonstop here. Okay, so these are the Tarot of Mystical Moments. And this is, I haven't announced this yet, but I will, hopefully tomorrow, Tuesday. But this is one of the decks that I'm going to give away. And this is amazing. I really was choosing the ones that are some of my favorites. But this deck is awesome. I love this. It's the Tarot of Mystical Moments. And they also have an Oracle deck as well that goes with it. It's pretty great too. Okay, so we want to know, clarify, please, about this for the collective. Can you clarify this Page of Coins with the High Priestess? So we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. So this is about you really being honest with yourself about what you want and moving forward, and using the healing that you've experienced to this point with that wisdom there, and kind of putting yourself in a position where you may not see how everything's going to come together. You may not see how how that goal's ultimately going to end, but knowing that you deserve the happy moments here and now at this point in time. There's a part of, not that it's not kind of have some structure to it. It's just kind of being in more a place to where you're allowing yourself to see past wherever it is that you are currently, and like uprooting yourself from somewhere physically, for some of you, uprooting your life and moving to somewhere else. But taking what you've learned here with that in this new beginning for you is very, very important here, I feel. This is also Capricorn energy, which is what we talked about up there at the beginning, so that's cool. Okay, so let's see. I probably sounded really old then. I don't know why. Cool's a great word. That's another thing going into that. Anyway, I'm going to stay away from that door. So, the Five of Wands with the Hermit. One overall card for the five. That was fast. The King of Pentacles in reverse, guys. I really can't make this stuff up. I mean, come on, you know? There's two of these in this deck. I forget. So more Capricorn energy here, guys. So this is kind of this feminine kind of energy and the masculine kind of energy within yourself is something that's really here, and using this to the best of your ability is very important. So if you take the minor to the major here, which is what we're, wow, I just noticed this. How crazy. Guys, if y'all read tarot, it's like, I mean, do you see what I'm seeing here? The way that they're putting this spread together, it's crazy. So you have your minor and major, your minor and major, your minor and major. Isn't that wild? So wild. Okay, I'm gonna lay off for a second. That's crazy. So the King of Pentacles in reverse, again. So this is about you again, kind of stepping into this role where you are taking that power or leadership position when it comes to this conflict and when it comes to the Hermit. So using what you know, even maybe isolating yourself from others, may be something that's here for some of you guys, because maybe there's other people that have too much conflict with this, or could just have too much internal influence on you, where it's causing you to feel not so great. Pay attention to those feelings that you're feeling, okay? And why those are there, what they're kind of pointing at. So there's going to be some more kind of red flags that are going to come up for healing here, okay? And it's going to be a result from some sort of outside conflict. And it's funny too, because here's the healing part of it moving forward, knowing what you know. The life's journey, which is shine your light and to reveal anything of the shadows that need to be healed, which is what this is here with the Hermit, and healing the conflict, the shadow here with the Five of Wands, and then you go from that to over here. But the King of Pentacles and being that more masculine is wanting me to focus. This is more on nurturing this healing that you've experienced and realizing that you have what it takes to kind of mentally be able to approach things. But this here is about you kind of using that energy in that more of a grounded, fiery, driven Emperor. It's like Emperor energy in the Pentacles. So your own stability is important, and knowing that's important to you, and not letting anyone else come and turn your lights off in your head. You know what I mean? Having that self-awareness and knowing yourself and not questioning it is something that's really can be important and strong for you moving forward. And then this here, shine from within. It's talking about how looks are only skin deep, and that true beauty lies within yourself, but it's about self-acceptance and revealing that self-acceptance and who you are to the world. Is this Nine of Cups and the Fool in reverse. This is about you kind of being afraid of taking a risk to do what it is that you feel like brings you happiness. I mean, this could be as simple as, you know what, I don't want to, I don't know, like you don't want to get up and put makeup on in the morning. You just want to go to town without it. It's just like, I don't want to have to do all that stuff. It's about, I'm not saying you should do that. I mean, whatever, to each their own. I'm using that as an example because it's the only thing I can think of at the moment. But it's like having that realization that really, really kind of doing what it is that you feel makes you the happiest. And not letting someone else kind of intrude upon that to where it reflects on you in a way where you don't feel good about yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, if that is something that is so important to you that it will make you not feel good about yourself, then do that. Whatever it is about it. And don't let anyone else kind of influence that or say something where you find yourself doing something that you didn't even want to be a part of, or you find yourself doing something that doesn't make any sense to you, or you don't feel comfortable, or whatever it is. Knowing what your comfortability level is and when to take chances and when not to is something that you're going to be stepping into. When something that you feel like would be happy, beneficial, and you can gain something from it, and it's valuable to you, and when it just may not be that necessarily that important, in order to find that balance that you need so that you're not in a constant kind of feeling like you have a burden on you. is important here. Also, I want to go back to what I talked about in the beginning of this reading about you kind of at the end of the year carrying that weight and recognizing the happy parts of that, and gratitude is here. Being grateful for that is something that's here. Can I have an overall energy? 6 of Cups. I love it. So this is like Scorpio energy for me. So again, that like transformational kind of energy, which I talked about a little bit because of generation, and Pluto, but I'm not, I just wanted to kind of think about like Scorpio being that transitional energy and having that death and rebirth. And this is part of what they're saying here, is really kind of having this self-acceptance, and this is like this time to experience that and see that as something great when it comes to the healing that you've done. This is you stepping into a new beginning where you see yourself in a different light than you saw yourself before. And it's in a much lighter energy than it was before, where you're realizing some of the burdens that you've been carrying up until this point have been things that weren't even yours to begin with. They're actually outside of you, who you were trying to kind of please outside of yourself or something to this nature. And choosing your own kind of happiness in this scenario is where your true acceptance is, right? And how to move forward. See, the Fool in reverse jumps off the cliff kind of and no expectations of anything, just hoping that everything's going to go well and taking that risk and chance. It's in reverse here for you because you don't have to do that here in the future. It's like sorry about my stomach growling, guys. It's almost lunch. You are in this place to where you are taking that and saying, I can jump off of this cliff because I know I can catch myself too. I know I'll land on both feet. That's what I'm feeling here. And that's the self-acceptance and the beauty that came out of this whole past experience. Does that make sense? Okay, there goes my tummy again. We have the Tower, which is Scorpio energy, and I kid you not, we have the Ten of Cups here. That's awesome, because this Ten of Cups and this right here, this is what reminded me of the Ten of Cups before, because the rainbow, and in this card you have that rainbow right there. That's awesome. Yeah, the Tower in reverse. So this is about you holding yourself in a, like, if this was yourself and you have all these cracks and experiences that you've went through that has caused this destruction to yourself, but you're still showing yourself this compassion, holding yourself together and giving yourself that big hug, you know, whenever you do feel like you're going to fall apart. Having your own back is something that's here, and that being something that you're going into this new year feeling emotionally fulfilled in that way. I can take this into the new year and know that I learned some things here, and I know myself a little more, and I have self-acceptance, and I can walk into this new year and appreciate myself for how far I've come, and how compassionate I am with myself, because I'm the only person that knows exactly what I've been through and how I've been through it and how I've felt it, because we all feel things so different. Okay, guys, so I'm going to pull a postcard from Spirit, and I'm going to pull one of these as well, and one of these, and then I'm going to end, okay? So these are the intuition oracles for overall affirmation. That was fast. The past, the past. Number 28, which is actually 10, which is about near completion, and moving forward to something new, closing out things. So it says the past. I shine awareness and compassion on my past. That's awesome card. Fits with the whole reading. That was great. It was exactly what I just said, guys. You know, having that compassion for yourself from what you've experienced moving forward. I'm going to say that again. That's awesome. I shine awareness and compassion on my past. I love that. Okay. Yep. So let's get, these are called, I know I get kind of real silly when those come out like that because it's so crazy to me how in tune things can be in these readings sometimes. How they all kind of just collide and fit together perfectly. It's just so, it's magical, really. So Drive. It's sad too because these readings don't get as many views as the personal or about your person love readings. And I think these are so fun to kind of experience, you know? Okay, Drive. When you're giving spirit a platform, it's crazy what they can do with it. Okay, so the bottom of the deck, sometimes you just have to ride the wave you're given. Yeah, this is kind of this overall energy that I'm feeling here for you. As far as this past year and where you are now. So these are just inspirational quotes that you can find on Amazon. So we also have, the harder the work, the sweeter the fruits. So those of you who have been through this tower moment, where's that? Here, where you have this destruction that you've been kind of holding on to, keeping yourself together here. It's like, whew, I just barely made it out of that year. What a year. That kind of energy, that one's for y'all. The harder the work, the sweeter the fruits. Okay. You can't go through the looking glass without cutting yourself. Yep. This is part of this past experience here. This having compassion for yourself and where you are and how far you are. And, you know, recognizing that where the healing took place and having that compassion keeps coming up. I like this card. If you don't start thinking outside the box, it may eventually become your coffin. So this is about you really kind of not going into alignment with things just because they're coming easy for you or they're coming from the outside, or in not listening to your own happiness of what you want in situations. And then at some point you looking back and saying, boy, I wasted so much time. How valuable is time? And I just wasted it kind of on someone else's watch of what they wanted me to do or what they wanted for me or where they wanted me to be or whatever that is. You know, it's like having to go to work every day, and that's your time. That's valuable. It's part of what, you know, you pay for to live. It's crazy, isn't it? I don't want to go down that road. I'm trying to stay away from there. Okay, so let's just go on to the next card. So if you're not the hero of your own story, then you're missing the whole point. I'm not even going to say anything about that card because I don't feel like it's necessary. That is really freaky. Let's go ahead and get a postcard from Spirit, and then we'll close because my kids are waiting on me to make some cookies, and I'm really excited about it because I want some. We're going to decorate some Christmas cookies. Okay. Okay, postcard from Spirit to close, please. Well, that was super fast. Live your dreams. Imagine that. Dearest you. Okay. Isn't it amazing how things seem to come around again? Full circle, in ways that you could not possibly have planned. You wonder how a dream could die, only to be resurrected years later when you really are ready. You thought it was time back then, but your wisdom knows better than your small self, whose desires are unmet. Now here you are with a new opportunity to do things from a different, more mature perspective. Absolutely. We want you to trust that in the new opportunity for rebirth, did I not say that? You will be called in two directions. And the one that is unfamiliar will be the right one. And that's, I think, most important here, guys, because this is what I'm kind of talking about here, about you finally being in a place to where you have grown, which is the Six of Cups. And you want this happiness here for yourself. And you don't want to live someone else's story. You want to see it from your point of view. right? This is kind of this repetitive message that I'm feeling here about you making that choice to do something different outside of what you've normally kind of done. Wait, hold on. Where did I go? In the unknown places, the uncharted places of infinite potential, we are waiting to guide you into your fullest life. Big bounty will come if you remain in the present. You have come full circle, and now you can see everything changes, is made new, and is given new hope. Loving you always. Perfect way to end that. Okay, so let's get some a key card from Spirit. Okay, so we have Go Deeper, Who is Aware, New Beginnings. See how it's talking about someone outside of you? I am appreciated, Going Well, and the past is gone. That is awesome. I know I get so excited, guys, because this is so crazy to me. Sorry, guys. Okay, so Go Deeper. With Who is Aware, think about this more, this whole thing about people outside of your new beginning that you want for yourself. And know that you're appreciated. You know, that self-acceptance is something that's coming up here. Know that you are appreciated. Know that your worthiness is here, you know? You just have to grab it. Just grab it. It's already in you. You just have to grab it. And Going Well. Knowing that things will go well is something to kind of step into. It's sometimes we have to step into a place where we're not just like, oh, I know everything's going to turn out so awesome. It's going to be, I feel like we put ourselves in too high of expectations or hopes that we're not realistic with them. And I'm not trying to give bad advice, I swear. It's like just accepting that things are going well for you in the present, and at that moment in time, that's what you can most kind of be in that gratitude and acceptance of, is in that present moment. Everything's going well for me now. You know? Okay. Instead of kind of thinking about how the future could be. So we have TBH S Z F M or W, and then we have N F I firm, be firmer, R N, be firmer with other people as well, and your boundaries. That's important when you're talking about having conflict outside of what you want. Y-O, M or W. Guys, and I want to mention, like, I'm not talking about, like, use your common sense as far as that happiness of what it is that you want, and how that kind of fits for you in your situation. It's not like I'm saying, like, don't listen to somebody when they tell you not to do something that it's obviously going to hurt you, and that kind of thing. I mean, I'm talking about, like, bigger things, right? Goals and ambitions and dreams that you have in your life. Okay. That other people just may not quite understand. We have LATLO, lot. So there's a lot. There's a lot here. There was a lot here. Sorry, guys. One. It's like you've already won the part where you should be. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff here. H, D, A, U, G, I, F. And then you also have and, so I'm getting this heavy, like, disagreement kind of energy with somebody, and how figure, it could be a figure, it could be somebody that you look up to in some kind of way. Something to do with the figure here, maybe even a dad, a father figure may be relevant here for some of you in some kind of way. And that might be the conflict. You see how it almost says dad and figure here? I don't know why I'm seeing that like that, but there you go. We have O, which is taking a leap. 3, which is growth. 7 is things coming into alignment, and 8 is about taking action and progress, moving forward, learning the lessons. That's really odd. 1, a lot. BS, stay away from the BS. There's no E here, which is really throwing me off. I'm also seeing Ferry and LA over here. So, oh, there's an A. Yeah, Ferry's here. So, I don't know what that means, but for some reason, the other day I mentioned a fairy book. So maybe that's relevant here for some of you, or maybe some of your writers. And then LA. So there you go. It's right there. Laugh out loud. You may think that some people see you as a joke, or this could be a joke, or that's just, I don't know, I'm getting that feeling of something about somebody. This is what they had figured. Look at that. You may be feeling like somebody's like winning over you in the way that something kind of is going, a direction where something's going, or how something's going, or the situation itself in some kind of way, like somebody won something over you. Guys, I'm just explaining to y'all what I'm hearing and thinking, and what I'm seeing here in the bowl is kind of words and stuff like going together. So just take any of it how it kind of resonates for you if you're needing to hear that, so you know this is your reading or whatever that is. Lonely is something that I'm kind of seeing here. Feeling lonely or being lonely, or some situation may make you feel kind of lonely with that Hermit, or being isolated. This Heart, I don't know if I even mentioned that. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna leave you here. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna leave here. Okay, so, oh, we have G over here too. I wasn't even like really focusing in on that. Dang it. There was word that I saw, but then I was like, no, we don't have a G. I should have just said it anyways. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know. Okay. That's all right. So I'm gonna hold these up. Won't. Something won't hurt like you think it will. Some of you are afraid to kind of take a leap in a direction because you feel like it won't work out. It won't work. That's something that you need to focus in on, okay? Because if you don't start thinking outside the box, it may eventually be your coffin. It's right here. Those self-limiting beliefs come out in that, which I think is something else we talked about. Okay, so my gosh, I'm going to leave you here. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope this helps somebody, or resonates, or helps y'all to move forward. I never know what I'm getting into with these. So hopefully y'all understand, or you could use bits and pieces that may be relevant in helping you move forward. So good luck to you guys. Keep an eye out for my video I'm going to post in a couple of days on the 5-day giveaway, and it will be up on my community page as well. So I'm gonna leave you here. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck to you guys. Sending you love, sending you light, and hope to see you soon.